Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, we are Arnold and Edwina, the two travelers, and here are our tales from Spain. In this episode, we went on a day trip from Madrid to Toledo. It's an ancient city perched on a hill above the plains of Castilla-La Mancha and known as the City of Three Cultures because of the fusion of Jewish, Muslim, and Christian cultures in its history. As soon as we arrived in the morning, we hiked to Mirador de Valle, allegedly the best viewpoint over Toledo. We passed by one of the two bridges that cross the river in the northeast side of Toledo, the Alcantara. It's a very old Roman stone arch bridge built between 104 and 106 AD. This bridge has suffered more damage from wars than weather, but was rebuilt a number of times. This is also our entrance gate to the city. You may not be able to tell, but this was quite early in the morning on a rather overcast day, and we were freezing. The view was worth it though. From here, you see the entire city nestled in the bend of the Tagus River. And by luck, the clouds dispersed as we reached the spot. Of course, we took a lot of pictures. Now entering the city, you won't miss the Alcazar, a fortress/castle located in the highest part of Toledo, with its 4 large towers crowned by the typical Madrid spires. It's seen wars, sieges, fires, and is now a military museum. Our walk soon took us to Plaza de Zoocodover, the main square of Toledo. The name comes from an Arabic language that means market of burdened beasts, and indeed, it was where horses, donkeys, mules, and other cattle were sold. It was also used for public execution during the Spanish Inquisition. By the way, the city has narrow, winding streets with steep gradients and rough surfaces, so make sure you have comfortable shoes. The Toledo Cathedral is a Gothic cathedral built on the space of the former city mosque, which again people said was built where there was originally a Visigothic church. This happens a lot around here because over more than 2,000 years of history, Toledo was successively a Roman municipium, then the capital of the Visigothic kingdom, then a fortress of the Emirate of Cordoba, then an outpost of the Christian kingdom, and the temporary seat of Spanish power and court until Philip II moved the capital to Madrid in 1561. If the city could speak, imagine the stories it could tell. Since we only had one day in this fascinating city, we couldn't possibly tour every place of interest. But this being the city of three cultures, we thought we'd at least visit a mosque, a synagogue, and a church. Our next stop was the Mosque of Cristo de la Luz. It was built in the year 999 and has been preserved in much the same state as it was when originally built. As you can see, the main space is a very small square of 8 by 8 meters. According to the legend, when Toledo was taken control of by the Christian troops, they found a hidden crucifix in one of the walls, and thus it was turned into a church. By then, it was well past midday and we were hungry. For lunch, we went to Bar Ludena, a popular local spot serving authentic, rustic, traditional Spanish food. This place was an amazing find and exceeded all of our expectations. Service was great and friendly, the food was unbelievably good, the portion generous but reasonably priced. The stews in particular were delicious. And of course we ordered carcamusa, stewed pork with tomatoes and vegetables, a Toledo specialty. We had to ask for more bread to soak up all that good sauce. It was also here that Millie found her favorite vermouth in Spain. Post-lunch, we continued our walk around the city and headed to the synagogue of Santa Maria la Blanca. Erected in 1180, it was also converted into a church in the 15th century. We guessed that it is called Saint Mary the White because of the white interior walls. What's interesting about this building is that it was constructed under the rule of a Christian king by Islamic architects for the Jewish to use as a place of worship. A nice and rare testament that the different religions populating this region in the Middle Ages could, at least on this occasion, live harmoniously together. We only had time for one last stop before we had to catch our return bus to Madrid, and that was the monastery of San Juan de los Reyes. This monastery was built by the Catholic monarchs King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella to celebrate two joyous occasions, the birth of their son and their victory over Portugal. They had planned to be buried here, but changed their minds and chose Granada after they reconquered it in 1492. The monastery was dedicated to Saint John the Evangelist, whom Queen Isabella was especially devoted to, for use by the Franciscan friars. It was badly damaged by Napoleon's troops during their occupation of Toledo, but was restored and returned to the Franciscan order. Among the beautiful buildings we've seen in Toledo, this monastery is the most elaborate in design. And symbolisms of the Catholic monarchs, their statues, emblems, coat of arms, are everywhere. The cloister has a second floor, and here the ceiling has a mudéjar style. Still painted with motifs and coat of arms of the Catholic monarchs, it also bears their motto, Tanto monta, monta tanto, which describes their equality, partnership, and joint reign. On the facade, you can see the shekels of the freed Christian prisoners from Granada, hung there by the Queen's order to symbolize the victory of the Christians. And just like that, our day in Toledo came to an end. We were sad to go and wished we had booked a later bus, but I guess it gave us a reason to return one day. For now, our trip takes us to our next destination, Granada. We hope you enjoyed our video, and stay safe, everyone.